Hey everybody, this is the Combo Wombo podcast. I'm Chipmunk. With me as always the Mr. Gimpy.
What's up, Chip? It's been a while.
Yeah, dude. Whoa, dude. Hold up. Wait a minute. It has been quite a while. Yeah, man. I've been living out there enjoying the summer. I went to a beach. I had like my anime spring beach arc, dude. Like
Nice.
as was required in every anime, at least one episode.
Yeah, we have fun for one episode, have one existential crisis that your friends help you work through, and then you're a better person for it, ready to go on the final arc towards the big boss.
Yeah, all I'm missing is like a tournament arc, dude. When are we gonna do another? I think we had like a chess tournament at one point. We had a poker tournament with the boys. Are we doing a tournament this year?
We gotta. I think I'm hosting Friendsgiving this year if I can get some time. Because last year I think I had to work the weekend we were going to do it, and then everyone else had like Thanksgiving stuff planned, right? So something like that happened. And then the year before I hosted, and then so I think this year I'm hosting. I just have to make sure I'm actually in town on a decent weekend.
Jeez.
It's hard to get that scheduled with everybody
having. The whole thing, dude.
Like it seems like no one's family has Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving, right? It's like, okay, do I do it the weekend after? It's okay, everyone's busy with like Black Friday shopping, stuff like that. Do I do it the weekend before? Everyone's like, I'm always doing it the weekend before. Fuck the day of. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy.
We'll try and get something scheduled here.
Don't believe the media, dude. Thanksgiving is whenever
shout out Butters, who won the table tennis tournament. You know, so the last time he had a 3D printed a trophy that he took home.
Surprised, dude.
You're surprised?
Was James there? How did he beat James?
Well, it was him and I in the finals. I knocked James out.
What?
I put James into losers, and then Dan knocked him out.
Never play a man on his own table, dude. This is ridiculous.
Exactly right. But Butter says that low center of gravity, dude. He just in there. It's fun though. There. I think James needs to come back and try and get that trophy back.
Feeling himself, dude.
Yeah, but we'll get something going. It'll be cool. It's been a while. Professor was talking about sneaking in on King Crab. But now we're talking about like personal stuff. So let me get to the gaming. To the gaming.
No, man, we're talking about tournament arcs. Aside from that, I had to rip up a whole basement. Speaking of the professor at his crib, he's like, "Yo, man, help me out real quick. Rip out all of the basement so we can pour a new foundation." I'm like, "Yeah, all right." So we did that.
So 2 weeks later.
Yeah, man, it was barely an inconvenience, dude. So then we framed out some rooms. It was great. I don't know. Overall, pretty happy. I didn't want to frame out the other room because it was all cattywampus on the floor, but they're like, "Oh, we're just gonna do it." And I was like, "Nah, man, we should just redo the subfloor here, dude." Of course it's still gonna be like a little wacky because the house is just wacky.
Sure,
but it's gonna be way better than what we got. And he's like, "No, it's gonna cost too much money." I'm like, "It's gonna cost so much more money after you like build all this shit on top of it, and then you have to like redo everything, dude." Like, I don't know. It's whatever. It's good money chasing after bad or whatever. Was it picking up nickels to save dimes?
All right.
Money.
It just throwing a bunch of euphemisms around here.
Yeah, man. Just hitting you with some old sage-like wisdom. Just what happens when you go to the beach, dude.
Yeah, I see that. This was the crisis that you had to deal with.
Yeah, dude. You out there walking. You just stand there on the sand looking out with the sunset, dude.
Yep.
And we all learned some lessons that day, dude. Let me tell you a thing or two.
Definitely. I've been, since with our time not doing the pod, just a couple weeks.
Any country wisdom gems you got going on
my pig game? I've been moving forward on it. I've shared with you the mud accumulation that is happening.
It's starting to look like a real game, dude.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. So I'm still working on that. I've like my day job has kind of ramped up a bit, so work on the pig game has been a little slower, but still working on it. Every weekday I jump in and have a minimum of 2 hours to work on it. So it's been good, man. I've deployed it to mobile devices. I've tested it, so it's nice seeing it on the intended platform. still going strong. So I'm
This is
happy to report
the boring
that.
part nobody tells you about. This is the slow fucking grind,
This is the slow grind. This is the time where there's not a lot of like screenshot or video progress.
Yeah.
This is just getting core systems in and working. So
It's a lot of deleting and redoing and then doing and
mhm.
very little visual impact.
Yes.
but
So
it's all that foundation, much like ripping up the basement foundation.
yes.
Yeah,
So
sometimes rip up the coding foundation and
yep.
re-pour out a solid. Yeah, man, it's this isn't the sexy part that they record on the YouTubes, dude. You know, I feel like most people they're like, oh, look at this game I built in 24 hours. And it's like, most of the time I see those, I was like, I wish you'd spend like 3 months on it instead. You know, it's like, imagine how much better it would be. But it doesn't make a great video.
There's the other side of it too, where game dev YouTubers are all like, "This is what I've done so far. This is it," and it's always something visual. And then there's a couple that will show like I was stuck. I have no idea how to continue, but I'm still gonna work on it. And then like 3 months go by, and it's like either they quit or it's just like, "Oh, we did all of this. This wasn't working, so I reworked everything." So that's where I am, but I'm just pushing through. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think like it's not really showing though anywhere, and then like the few YouTubers that do, it's like again, it's like jump cuts. It's like here it is in like 10 minutes, my like 6-month training arc.
Well, you have to have it digestible too, though, right? So
yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, but like if you're wondering like why like sometimes YouTubers who do game dev just disappear or go off the grid for like months or years at a time, it's just hard, dude.
Yep. Game dev is hard. No one said it was easy, and if they did, they were liars. But
easy. Or they're trying to sell you something, dude.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But yeah, that's where I am, man. So I'm still in a good spot. I'm still moving. I'm still excited about the project. I've learned so much that I've like some stuff that I've understood conceptually, then other stuff where I had no freaking idea how it implemented or how it worked. So it's been a lot of reading. So
yeah, it's always fun. I enjoy that part. I enjoy like starting with like what you want and then trying to like reverse engineer like and then figure out best practices to like achieve that.
Yeah.
It's always I don't know, it's like solving with like the IKEA furniture picture already assembled and then like with no instructions, like try to like reverse engineer, like, all right, what do I want? How do
I let me pick your brain about this here, about Valve, and give me 1 sec. Okay, so about Valve,
what's happening with that?
Big leak happened. Well, with Valve, there's leaks constantly, but nothing ever comes to fruition. But this one is a lot more substantial. Bigger news outlets have covered it.
Is it like a leak or like a leak in like air quotes?
I think it's a leak / imminent release, right? So
it's like an advertisement, dude. It's like
Deckard, right? Deckard has been rumored for so long. There's been so many different updates for it over the last like 2-3 years.
Deckard, I hardly know her.
So Deckard's code name is now switched to Steamframe. Steamframe seems to be a standalone headset from Valve. So it's like I basically am describing it as a Steam Deck on your face. Was the one they had before, like the Vive? Well, Vive was a different company, but the Valve Index is theirs, but it's wired. This is wireless like the Quest. It has new controllers that are very similar to like a split Xbox controller, where one side does one side's like the buttons and all that. So it looks like from the leaks, it looks like you can play normal games projected onto it, much like a Steam Deck, and you can play VR games. And you can also use Steam Link or Virtual Desktop to wirelessly stream these PC VR experiences as well to get, higher fidelity, things like that.
Yeah, you can do that right now.
You can do that right now, correct. But now this is, the Valve made thing,
So I played Half-Life Alyx. It's great.
So
imagine throwing the entire compute power behind your desktop into your face, right directly into your eyeballs, dude.
So let me get your opinion on that. As someone who has the Quest 2, who's fine with that experience, And then I'll give you a little tidbit of what
Aren't
I've
they up
heard
to like
just
3
yesterday.
now? 4?
They're on Quest 3 right now, yeah. So what do you think about Valve jumping into the standalone headset market with the addition of having, normal PC games on there as well? What do you think that? Do you think that's a good thing for Valve? Do you think that it's too little, too late? Let's see what you.
Yeah, I think I feels mostly that development market's been gobbled up by Meta at this point. Like they were throwing bags of money at like anyone with like any idea just to like own the companies. So I don't know, man. At least like now we all have kind of like a standard API on the back end for developers, so it's like easier than ever to like get up and running with like any idea.
Yep.
There's all the major like killer app ideas Meta bought up with like your Beat Sabers and stuff, or I don't know, like Half-Life Alyx is still like the best VR game out there. I think Boneworks, I think Valve might have bought those guys up or like gave them money or something.
Bone Lab is still its own thing currently.
All right, yeah. So maybe they just hooked them up with some cash. They're like, hey, this is awesome. Have some money. I remember reading something about it. Maybe I just made that up, dude. That feels right though. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, like Bone Labs and like Half-Life Alyx are still basically like the top tier VR experience. I know like the things that make the clips and stuff online are usually is it like a VR chat?
Yeah.
And like I don't know, that's all for the use. It's not really for me. I've tried to go in there. I'm like, oh, all right, I'm not interested in this experience at all. Same with like any like cross discipline thing. They always try and like sell you as like, oh, you could be like a meeting space for like meetings at your work, and like nobody wants that, dude.
Yeah.
It's like imagine, and it's like I'd rather not. Like I don't know. Most people would rather do like a webcam, and then like most people don't even want to do that. They'd rather just like a chat room, like a voice chat.
Work meetings, whatever. I have like a video conference or something. If I see no one has their webcam on, I turn mine on, and just to kind of like force someone else to, because they're like, oh, this dude has it on. I don't want to be showing up, So
that's usually the way, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like most companies, like I think ours just like rolled out a policy where it's like if there's more than 3 people, then like you have to have it on. It's like, all right, dude. So they're making like weird arbitrary rules.
Gotcha.
And then like if everyone's comfortable, it's like nobody cares, dude. Like nobody wants this.
Right. This meetings usually could just be an email, right? So
there's a lot of meetings like that. I don't know. I've having done more and more meetings, like usually not. Like I don't know. Maybe it depends on like your culture and stuff too, like what you're actually doing. But like it's usually like a ton of emails, and then like the follow up for us is like actual question answer, and then like back to a chain of emails. But yeah, and it's usually like a quick, again, like, I don't know, like again, I think maybe this is just like people like figuring shit out too over time. The meetings that we do have and meet in person are like less than like 15 minutes.
You're off topic. You're off topic. No,
I'm just saying. No, dude, I say all this just to say that like nobody wants like a virtual fucking metaverse that people are like showing up as like avatars and like having a virtual fucking like office on the moon, dude. It sounds cool on paper. It like, you can sell that. Like, I don't know. So as far as that, like killer apps and stuff, like I think that VR is just kind of a misstep at this point for anybody like trying to get in. It's fun. It's cool. Like if you can like bring the price point down, like it's a cool novelty. And I don't know. Again, it's like chicken egg situation where it's like maybe if you have more users, then they could get more developers. Or maybe if there's like a developer who made like a cool app, then you'd get more users. Like you've always notoriously said, you need at least like 4 really good games to get you to like buy anything.
100%.
So yeah, like I would say like Half-Life Alyx, Boneworks for me, and like that's it. I couldn't name you like another like really like big tentpole VR game for me that would like I'd be like, oh, this is what you need to have VR for. That it's worth like this like upfront investment of like $300+ like to get in the arena. I would recommend like maybe like the augmented reality glasses at that point. Like I feel like the cost to benefit to like actual practical use is like I've gotten way more off like my Nreals than I have out of my Quest at this point. But it depends on like your life and what you're up to. What about you? How do you feel about this, man?
As you know, I love VR.
Is that making sense at all?
It does. It does. I love VR, and I'm happy Valve is jumping in because Meta has managed to just take their claws and just cover the entire space. and it needs to be
money,
a
dude.
larger company to combat this, and Valve is it. If Valve has a standalone headset, it kind of forces the developers to make it for PC VR, right? So,
Which is the better experience.
Which is the better experience, 100%. So this is a good thing. It should have happened 3 years ago. So to combat Meta's overtake of everything, Valve at this point has an uphill battle to fight. But if they're willing to throw their weight around, it could only be good for the state of VR, because while PC VR is the better experience, you have more options on standalone VR. Granted, they are worse graphically than any other, but
fidelity.
At this point, we're seeing exclusive games solely on like the Quest 3 that would benefit greatly from a PC VR release. That just won't happen because Meta has their claws and everything, like Asgard's Wrath 2, Batman the Arkham VR game, which is having a sequel that PC VR users will not be able to experience until Meta decides to port it, if they do, right? So Valve is having this option as a standalone PC VR headset is really opening up the doors. They're doing so. Pico kind of does this, right, but they're their own ecosystem as well. So Valve is doing what Pico should have done, in my opinion, right? But it's also harder to make just like and market like a PC VR replacement, right, without being an established company like Valve. So
and it's a huge dollar proposition as well for like the average user. It's like, I need to buy like a really good computer as well as like a really expensive piece of hardware.
Yeah, so with
the hardware doesn't do anything without the computer.
Right. So with the ability to have it standalone is huge, and I can see myself buying one to take on travel, right? And so we'll see how that goes. But I'm looking forward to it, and I think Valve has to release it by at least Q1 of 2026 to actually make an impact.
You talk about like Steam being able to throw their weight around. Like, how do you feel about like because we've seen this, like there's a lot of like hacked experiences for games. If Valve could like partner up and like make like an official type of thing for theirs, I mean that feels like the winning formula here.
What do you mean, an official type of thing?
Like what's that plugin that you use to like get like RoboCop in VR, like Resident Evil?
Oh, UEVR.
UEVR. Yeah, if they could like make like an official, like agreement with like these companies that are like, and be like, or like just like a top layer thing where it's like, oh, we're using UAVR or at your own risk. It's like, it's kind of like a weird legal gray area. Like, I'm not sure. Like,
it's just an injector. That's just an engine injector, though. So it's not like it's so user codified that you can't really market that. But it is something that and the requirements for it are much heavier than a normal VR game too, is the other thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. If like you're already doing this like with Valve, if like a standalone type of thing that's connecting to your PC, again, like that's where like I would recommend that. Like that's like
no, it's not just standalone to connect to the PC though. It's standalone on its own. You don't need a PC with it. Is the selling point. But it's a PC on your face, right? So So you get
if you could stream like those games, or if they can like handle that type of stuff, dude.
Right. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Well, we'll see though, man, because some of these UE VR things are just really intensive on the GPU, but others like some of the racing game stuff, which is really just reprojection, isn't as bad, surprisingly. So
if only Steam had like a profile thing on their Steam Deck that like they've been working on, where you could have different profiles for different types of games. If you had like a injector in there, like, what I'm saying? Like, I feel like they have like all the pieces there. If like they can like get it together, like they have like a compelling product at that point.
Yeah. See, like I said in previous pods, man, VR is in its early days where it's like gaming in the 80s at this point.
Yeah.
Where things were fun, things were being figured out, and things were still niche. And, Meta is trying to take that niche to the wider spectrum. And this actually is a good segue into what I experienced yesterday. I was out with my kids after a soccer tournament for my son. And they had like these bounce houses and everything. And then I'm standing in line with my kids. And behind me, these two, probably...
So you've been on your summer festival arcade.
Right, these two, like probably late 20s dads were talking. One got the PSVR 2. The other got a Quest 3. he's like, "Oh, should I get that? I heard you and like Dan or let's just say names here got that,
Yeah.
and it seemed pretty fun. But I just don't want to spend like the $400 to get it. Like, what games do you get? Do you guys play anything all the time?" He's like, "I played it for the first month, and after that, it's kind of a novelty. It's a cool experience, but I don't know. It's just I thought it'd be neat." And his their kids were probably like 5, 6, and he goes, "Yeah, I let Connor play it for probably 10 minutes on the weekends." Because I don't want it to like mess with his vision or his like perception. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I don't think I'll have the kids play that, right?" So looking at in my mind, I kept quiet. I didn't want to say anything. I just wanted to hear what the general public thought.
Yeah.
And I think those two dads were like the greater range of the people who Meta's marketing to, and they're marketing incorrectly.
Hmm.
It's a cool novelty, right?
Yeah.
In Best Buy, like the have you seen the Quest stations at Best Buy in a while? Have you been to Best Buy in a while?
Nah, the last time we talked about was the pink eye epidemic that was
Yeah,
breaking.
yeah.
You say
So
your own
that thing
risk,
is
dude.
so sad. It's by itself. The batteries usually
Damn.
aren't charged. Sometimes you can't even like pick up the thing 'cause it's bolted onto the desk. It's sad. There's no hype around it, right? So I'm
Yeah.
hoping that and we need killer apps. And right now, Facebook/Meta, they're like Arkham, right? But they advertise this with the launch of a new Quest, but they don't continue advertising different games. You need the 90s 80s pull of advertising your product to sell your console. Right? Like
Yeah.
now, you don't see advertisements for just PS5 or Xbox, right? You see advertisements for the games. They need
Yeah.
to do that as well. They need to sell the games they have. The problem, they don't have any games, right? That's the problem.
It's a chicken egg
Um,
scenario.
but whether it's Batman Arkham, whether it's Asgard's Wrath 2, there were advertised for that, but that was bundled with the Quest 3 release. So Facebook, Meta, you need killer apps. You need to advertise those apps. You need to push your consoles. They're like, "Oh yeah, we're selling consoles hand over fist." Sure, you could be doing more, right?
I think also again, like this is maybe a me problem. Like they need like horizontal integration on like other things as well. So I think there's a way you can upload 360 photos to Facebook, but you can't get those 360 photos directly onto your Quest easily. So
Oh
like if I
really? I
wanted to
didn't
like,
know that.
yeah,
Okay.
dude, oh dude, it's a pain in the fucking ass, dude. Like I was like, because I was like, so there's like an AI thing, and I know everyone hates AI or however you feel about it. But there's like an AI thing that generates like you can take like your 360 picture, and then it does like a depth, and then like you can overlay that with like any sort of generated thing, so you can take your room and be like, oh, make it a sci-fi Star Trek room. And then I was like, all right, cool, let me put this onto my Quest. And it's like, you can't do that, we can't even read this file format, like we have no. And it's like, but like this is your format. And then it was like, oh, you can upload it to Facebook. And I was like, but there's not like an app, like a standalone app, like so I can go to the web page to look at the photo on a flat surface in my 3D environment on my Quest, but I can't get the 3D photo like to surround me. Like this is fucking bullshit. Or like even like the 360 videos that like are a pain in the ass to get through onto directly onto your Quest. Like so there's like different like silos of technology that they're not like integrating into it, and like there's no easy way to do like. So again, like and you said they're starting to do this more and more, like whenever you like start up an app where it's like, oh, are you standing, are you sitting while you're playing this, are you laying down?
Yes.
Like there needs to be like a standard thing that like drops you in every single time of like, what is your play area, like instead of like having to redraw it every single time. And I don't know, man.
Most games now you don't have to redraw every single time, so
Yeah,
I'll
it's
give
getting
that.
better, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
but
that's what I said,
again,
man.
like
It's like the 80s,
it's like
90s
the
of gaming.
80s.
They're figuring shit out. So I think it's a great thing that Valve is doing this, but I think timing is key, and you're already behind. You can't let this go deep into 2026. You can't let this go to 2027. You lost at that point, in my opinion, right? So
What does winning look like, though?
VR being an alternative option that you can have without having another console experience. That's what winning looks like. It's like, no, I don't have a PlayStation. I don't have an Xbox. I have a Quest or a Deckard, and I play these games. This is the type of gamer I am. That's what winning looks like.
Yeah, and I don't know, like again, like if I was like just spitballing, if they like were asking like us people who use VR for a while now who've been, I think if I was to sit down with them, that was what I would tell them. If you want a free feedback, is like you need like a straightforward way to onboard people. You need like a quick way to like set up users settings and profiles. You need a way to like have profiles for different games, much like, you know, like the Steam Deck already does. But for VR games, I think it needs to be extremely snappy. Like your entire like user interface, the UI, the UIX or whatever, like that entire experience needs to be like way snappier and futuristic, dude. Like it's 3D space, like have it like shit flying at you, have it like
it does need to be. Yeah, I agree with that. Yes,
even like things like for loading, dude, it should load up like the matrix, and they did like an okay job at this. Like if you ever go into like the Steam Decks, like the grid space, like that's cool, dude. Like add more of that. But like more of like shit you're flying around and
lean
shit,
into the future aesthetic. I can see that. Yeah,
you gotta lean more into
it. You're not selling a new console. You're selling a new world. Is what you're selling.
You're selling the experience.
Yeah,
you know, like you're experiencing a new world. That's what you're trying to sell, and it's great. Dude. Like this, we've said this before. Like if you can get people to try it, they understand it. But then they go, "Oh shit, this is great. What can you play on it?" Kind of like the the conversation you had. You're like, this maybe.
There's a few things, but there has to be something that grips everyone, right? There's no killer app like Mario for it, right? Beat Saber, arguably, but not everyone wants to just sit there playing, swinging their arms around. They want to explore the world.
Like I'll play like a dance game or Beat Saber for like 20 minutes, but then it's like, all right. Now what I do with the rest of my few hours I spend
and those games are available. You just have to find them, right? Like one of the biggest issues with VR is marketing as well. But
even like those headsets, man, they get kind of grimy, dude. Like like I use like the little like rubber overlay for like mine, like when I'm doing something more. But that gets uncomfortable. That leaves like the ring around your whole face. Like it's like a little plunger, dude.
I will say this, man. I still absolutely love VR. I love having my friends having VR, but a lot of times I find that I'm the one pushing to play the VR games, right? No one's like, hey Scott, you want to jump in VR real quick? It's usually me asking.
And like other app integration too. It's like as soon as you're talking about friends, like getting fucking Discord up and running on the fucking Quest was a pain in the ass, dude.
But you have it now, right? So it's
but I had to do like all this nonsense and sideload. Yeah, exactly. It's getting easier, but make it easier. Shit.
Yeah. So
remove the pain points.
Nothing. The reason why I like VR so much, and I'm going to end on this because we've kind of gone over time, but my memories of playing Half-Life Alyx, of playing Jupiter Grad 2, of playing Vertigo, are memories. Like I'm living in it, not of me playing a game, right?
It's like you're thinking back.
I remember. Like walking up to a body where a flashlight was hanging down and then a poison head crab came out and attacked me. I remember that as a visceral one-to-one experience. Nothing beats that. And that is the absolute coolest thing that someone's user-created world could infiltrate my mind like that. And that is what keeps me going on the VR train. That's what keeps me excited about the project, right, of the whole medium. So if anyone's listening, watching, man, just think of one experience in gaming that if maybe you've played VR, that was your hook. But think of, if you haven't played VR, think of your favorite experience in gaming and how it would be amplified by that first person visual. It's not of you sitting on the couch or in your gaming chair. It's of you in the world. And that, man, there's nothing like it. It's hard to explain, but once you've experienced it, it's hard to match. That's
I get it, man. I understand it, and like I just don't see like wide scale adoption on this product just because there's no killer app. Like I don't know, maybe it's like from like a fundamental game design point, like, and I've made like only one experience on the VR where I've poured over like a project like in 3D where I've remade like all the VR missions for Metal Gear Solid in VR. I was like, this will be fun. So I mean, like I've developed stuff for it, and I've like done that, and like again, like kind of like you said, like there is like something fun about that where it's like you're in like a VR mission and like you can like look over the corners as like Solid Snake, and then like a guard comes by and I like pull a gun off his back and like I shoot him with it. That's fun. But yeah, man, it's there's something to that experience, but and yeah, it's hard to articulate if people haven't experienced it. It's just worth trying out like those demos at like Best Buy. At the price point right now, it's like It's a whole console. It's a whole lifestyle. Like you do need like area if you're like moving around in space. And I think like the Kinect for like the old Xbox had the same problem. Like, oh, I need like a
you need room,
2 meter
right?
by 2 meter.
Yeah.
You need like just a dedicated holodeck space on your life, dude. That's why I've always been like so deep on it needs like a sit option, you know. And I know it takes away about 80% of the experience, but I think that's just the reality for a lot of people, and it's still a good experience at the 20%. But like to have like those immersive dreamlike experiences, like you do have to be moving around, like you do have to be like moving and experiencing like those spaces. And like I'm lucky enough to have like a living room, and dude, I put my TV on wheels so I could like rearrange like my whole living space just for VR at one point, you know. So I get it, dude. So yeah, you know, check out VR. Hopefully this Deckard drops and it's changes the game.
Yeah,
I'm hoping for like the UE VR integration. I think there's like I don't know if they're still doing the EMU VR. VR.
That's still a thing. You can play old games.
It's still cool. Like they have like cool. Where you can like play retro games with like your buddies in a virtual space. Like that's pretty cool. Yeah. It leans heavily into like the early 90s aesthetic. So this worth checking out if you got a VR already. But
yeah. All right, man.
Again, fuck Sega for removing games on their Sega VR console that they had for a while. They had like all their games on a catalog, like the Sega collection, and then they like started removing all the games quietly and then selling them to you separately. So
there's bullshit around that. there's ways around
there's ways around it. EMU VR, dude.
I'm not saying a flag, but we won't get into that. But
Jolly Roger, dude.
Stop you there for the Combo Wombo podcast.
Like, share, subscribe. We out.
We out.
Chipmunk.